For months, I've been dreaming about what driving up to the cottage might be like once it was all done. And this week, with loads of problem solving and DIY projects, we're one step closer to seeing my vision come to life. My goal for my projects for this week is to focus on the front of the house. I just feel like driving up to the house and getting to see its coloring, it's in its finished somewhat state without the porch, because we still need to do that, will just give me life. I want to focus on the front so it's all done and we can start going around to the sides and then focusing on the back so that we're making some like meaningful progress, although the windows were a great step in the right direction. You saw the last video when we were working on the windows. I showed you guys that this window is lower than these two. And it's kind of deceiving. Those on camera actually look like they're different as well just because how the siding is painted, but those are good. This difference right here, unacceptable. So that window was already in. They were supposed to match those two to that one, but it's a very complicated measurement process. And if you're not inside that window, you can't really see the measurement. So it's fine, we're fixing it. So my first plan of attack is to take this window out, raise it the distance so that they're exactly the same, and then put back the trim, and then we can do some other fun stuff. Too low, which is perfect because I have scrap wainscoting that was not in good shape to put back in the house. So I'm just gonna nail it in and then set the window back on it. I also cut off the top of the window because there was actually a lot of give room in the kind of like sizing or height of the windows, which is why I knew I could just do this easily on my own instead of having the framers do it. Like that, nail in, put the window back in. I'm always hot. Okay, now that we got windows at the same height and the side trim on, I just have 3 top trims to put on there. And then we have got to paint these so that they are not exposed to the elements. I do not want them rained on anymore. It's just rained, sprinkled once, but we just need a measuring cut. Did it. That makes me happy. Okay. All the trim, the windows are right, everything's ready. I've already started kind of like prepping them to prime and paint. I've put in some like putty for wood putty in the holes to camouflage all of those larger nails that we're using to put them up. I'm very happy with that. Okay, I'm gonna putty the rest and kind of like caulk the seams so that it's just like a really smooth finish and they look really good, especially when the trim sits on the windowsill. I found that there's like, you know, just some like spacing there. And paintable caulk, especially for wood and exterior purposes and waterproof purposes, it can really camouflage all of those little imperfections because nothing's ever perfect, but I always want them to be perfect.
Someday I'll find home.
Romeo has been outside sanding down all of these little inside trim sills. I don't know, maybe there is a proper name for this, but looks like a windowsill, but it's on the inside. It helps to keep the window in and also helps weather strip them, which still also going to do. We're probably gonna put a silicone band. I've seen them where they kind of like router out a hole and they put a silicone band so that when it closes, it's a real tight seal. So we're gonna do that on the top and the bottom, but this was original to the house. I think that this is part of their kind of weather stripping so it doesn't, the wind hits and it has to come up kind of thing. Put these back on. We have 3 of them for these 3 windows.
A place where I can go, and you'll be always mine.
Okay, so Romeo's been out here working on the window jams and he's getting to experience what we went through with all the windows. But he did get the smaller jams done. So we've got 4 smaller windows that are gonna go, 2 in the kitchen and 2 in the guest bathroom. That's those. When he started working on the windows, he was like, there's a lot of paint on these. My goal was to put the 2 top windows that I messed up on and didn't do when I was supposed to do. I wanted to put those 2 top ones up just to kind of close up the front of the house. The windows are a big project in and of itself, and I want to do a whole set of windows. So I want to do these 2 and then also the 2 in the dining room and the kitchen ones all at the same time. So we're gonna put a pause on that. Progress. Windows are progress over completion always. So a special thank you to Benjamin Moore for sponsoring today's video. If you guys caught a video before last, we sampled some trim colors, some possible trim colors for the exterior of the house, all from Benjamin Moore. We tested Manchester Tan, Deep in Thought, and Dove Wing. They each weren't quite right for the trim color. I was leaning towards Dove Wing, but it didn't have enough contrast. So I ordered a few more samples from benjaminmoore.com for us to test out to get that right amount of subtle contrast. I'm looking for like the perfect color. So here's our little experimentation window. So this is white Dove painted here. That's gonna be for the siding for sure. I love it, absolutely love it. And I also painted a little swatch of black on this window that hasn't been restored yet. So this is the siding color and the window color. So first we're testing sailcloth. It's the darker of the 2, so I'm gonna put it on the bottom and see if we like that and it gives some more contrast. Next we're testing gray mist, which is a little lighter, but also darker than Dove Wing. So it's a step in the right direction to create that contrast. I think we might have found one. I'm liking it so far. Okay, I'm gonna turn the camera coloring down so that you guys can really see what I see in person so that it's not too bright. Here are the swatches in a little bit more of a comparable color. Dove Wing, Gray Mist, Deep in Thought, Sailcloth, and Manchester Tan on the bottom. Before I tell you which one I really like, comment your selection below. Which one? I love the second one down, which is Gray Mist. The reason why in person, and I don't know if it's coming up on camera, but in person, it has the same color undertones as white Dove. So it's got that little bit of green, a little bit of warmth. I think that that's what the other colors were missing when I'm trying to match them up, which is so important to see everything together. I know it's not a huge contrast. This is the level of contrast I wanted. Okay, we're gonna live with it for a little bit and reconvene. I clearly have a love for Benjamin Moore paint, from their 3,500 unmatchable colors and their quality paint at an affordable price to their color portfolio app, which is so much fun. It's a free app you can download onto your phone and you can really get to see how colors will look inside your home and outside, like in the exterior. So I've definitely played around with this a lot when trying to pick the different colors for the house. I told my mom we were gonna start calling this house the Swatch House because I have swatches all over, just testing everything out, because it is really important to see the colors that you like in the space or on the house that you're actually gonna put them. So you can see them at all times of day, and you can also see them compared to the other colors that you're liking and you're picking for the house. Before I paint or do anything, I bought a pressure washer to help with the stripping on the doors, and we had so much house to clean and just things. Have I ever used it before? Nope. So we're gonna try this out together. I tested it over there and washed the siding. This house is really filthy. It needs a good cleaning, it needs a good coat of paint, you know, all the things that we're working on. So let's try it together, shall we?
Life is a winding
I'm pretty sure I
road.
should start from the top down.
No telling where it goes. Driving through days and nights. Won't stop for traffic lights. keep on searching for my highs.
Well, that was so satisfying. It's kind of like washing your car at a self-car wash. You know how it has the different like sprayers and stuff? It's like exactly like that. It's a lot cleaner. We have a lot of like scraping of like older paint that we need to get off, any loose paint, before we actually paint the siding. The trim painting process is going to be really similar to what we did for the windows. We're going to be using the Benjamin Moore High Hiding Primer first, and we're going to do a really good coat of that. But something a little different is we went with black for the windows, so I actually had them tint the High Hiding Primer to be like a dark gray, so there wasn't so much of a difference between a white primer and a black paint. But this time, since the trim is a lighter off-white color, we just went with the white as is High Hiding Primer. So I'm going to do a coat of that all over the trim, but I have a plan. I had a dream basically about this window and how to make the front two windows look like one unit. Since the framers did them so far apart, there was just this large separation. But in my dream, this is what I did. I got another 6-inch board and I put it in the center. So there were 3 equal trim boards on this window. And instead of doing where it's gray right now, because I put the primer on, instead of doing this and this board all in the lighter gray mist trim color, in my dream I painted this black and then put this as gray mist on top of it. It really defined the fact that this is a total window unit, and it made the black more predominant, which I liked. We're gonna go for it, and remember that it's just paint, and we can always paint it a different color if we want to. Like, we'd have to see it with the trim piece there too, but I'm gonna paint the trim piece off the house, prime it, paint it in gray mist, then put it up so that I don't have to tape it off and stuff. So our next project is going to be fun, but I think a little complicated. So this is the topper, the decorative topper that was above the one window that's in our future dining room. So now, of course, you guys know that we added another window there, so it's actually a double window. Well, we have to make the topper wider in order for it to look right. You can't just slap this up in the middle of the windows. So there's very intricate molding on this topper, and it was clearly custom built because it's all different pieces kind of put together to make a unique design. I headed to Home Depot to see if I could find a piece of trim that matched, or a few pieces of trim that we could put together that would match. I think I may have figured it out, but they didn't have it in wood. They only had it in this PVC material. It's not MDF, it's actually PVC. Interesting. I think it'll last a long time, but it's not gonna be wood. But I think since we're painting this anyways, the same color as the trim, I don't think you're ever gonna know, and we're gonna be able to create the unique design. I'm gonna lay out the pieces and let's see if we actually figured this out. This is tricky, very tricky. I'm just trying to make the puzzle piece, you know what I mean? I've got the top piece, I've got the second flat piece here, so these two. Only problem with the molding that I bought, that's new, that's not 100 years old, this very top edge is thicker. So I had this leftover trim molding from, gosh, I don't even know, where was this from? Oh, this is actually the trim that was with the acoustic tiles. I was like, you never know what that's gonna come in handy. I thought it was kind of a pretty detail. So it was the right thickness to add to the top molding here. So it's definitely like just putting pieces together to build this look. I hope I'm doing it right. I don't really know. Okay, we just did a lot of math to figure out how much on each side we actually needed, because I was just kind of creating and making one long piece. So we needed 22.5 inches on each side to complete the window at its largest point. So this is how far we've gotten for both pieces. So, I mean, close, we're getting there. So we've got the top piece, the very top, and I need to shave that down a little bit. And then we got the second one, and then this first little decorative, molding piece here. So now we need the rest of the molding and the 90-degree angle, which is gonna be that guy. So we've got to put this together hours later, many mistakes later, discovering how to do this later. Okay, this is how far we've gotten. You can tell that all the wood is different because we actually had to use salvaged wood. I didn't buy the right thickness of wood. So this is how far we've gotten here. Looking good so far. We have one more piece of decorative molding to put on. Well, it's not perfect and it's bothering me. It's not an exact match. Like, it's so close, and part of us feels like we really won't be able to tell when it's painted and up there, but it's just not perfect. And I'm contemplating at this point building a whole new one, but I don't know. We're gonna sleep on it. You guys, I think I was making this topper way too difficult of a trim detail to build. So as you can see, we actually had two of these toppers. One was on the front of the house over a single window, and then one was on the side of the house where our fireplace is gonna go. I actually thought it was pretty damaged, and I remember when we were taking it off, it was kind of falling apart, but actually it was only the bottom board piece, which is an easy piece for me to make. I decided to turn the two toppers into one long topper, and it's actually working. I actually didn't need to buy trim at all. Oh, by the way, it's raining again, if you can't hear. I can't. I'm drenched. You guys, look. Finally figured out the best kind of combination of materials to make it look like an extension, an actual extension. So it's a little bit of new, a little bit of old from something else, and then the old topper all kind of combined. I just have to create and make the opposite side, but let me show you. Look how good it looks now. I knew I just needed to work on it a little bit more to make it exactly line up. I am going to spray these pieces for the topper because there's a lot of little edges and stuff that I don't want to paint inside. And spraying's just so much fun. The only problem with the spray gun is there's so much cleaning, because you have to clean all these pieces individually and kind of take them apart. But other than that, it's fabulous.
Driving home with my shoes off, it's been too long. Tired Monday, probably another one. World's on fire, but gas is cheap. Nothing to do, nowhere deep. I've never been to watch TV, but I guess they're the first time for everything.
Okay, the primer's all dry, and I really can't wait to see this trim color. I know we're not gonna get the full effect because this siding color is still the old color of the house and it's not white dove yet. We're still waiting on the siding. Okay. Ready, set, go? Oh, it's so creamy and warm. I'm gonna use a roller too Can you see the color difference pick up on camera between the primer and the new color? Because I can't in person. Oh, it's so pretty.
Life is a winding road, no telling where it goes. Driving through days and nights, won't stop for traffic lights. And I really wanna know, if I will ever figure out where the road goes.
Then our trim piece will go in the center. We'll see if that works. If that doesn't work, then maybe we could do it all black in the center. I'll put 2 pictures on the screen so you guys can take a look and see which you like better, but figured we'd start light and work our way to darker if we wanted to. Ah! I love it. Look it. Now, we did have to do some problem solving. Mom is up there caulking. I don't know if it was our measurements or just the wood is just not perfectly straight, and we're perfectionists and we're overthinking everything. But it's gonna look really good. So up top you can kind of see the wood showing. I'm gonna have to put a piece of siding there because the framers cut too much of the siding there. The whole frustration of it all. But Mom's just caulking a little piece, a little sliver of space that were between the 2 new pieces that we made. And we're gonna let that dry. Since it was a little bit thicker, we put a piece of wood and we're gonna let that dry and then caulk it again, just making sure that it's like filled really good and really smooth on top, and then we're gonna paint that piece. I feel like this is another like progress over completion week. Well, I feel like every week is progress over completion because the whole house is not completed. Love the trim color. I can't wait until the siding is all painted in white dove. I feel like it's going to be, it's just, you're gonna be able to drive up to the house and just see it come to life. So still got a few windows on the front to do. Still got a few touch-ups here and there, and then we can't paint the exterior until we get the insulation, and then I special ordered the siding so we can replace those 2 bottom pieces there and some pieces over there, make sure that any pieces that need to be replaced can, and then we can paint the exterior. What do you think, Mama? You like our topper? I didn't know if we were gonna pull it off. I was like, I don't know if I can recreate this. But I think it's coming along. Once we get those seams done, it's gonna be so good. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video, this update really on working on the exterior. If you're not already subscribed, subscribe to the channel, hit the bell notification so you know exactly when I upload every Sunday. And if you have missed any of the renovation videos, I have a whole playlist. You can catch up on us doing the windows if you missed that video 2 weeks ago, and all the other updates on the addition, which is really exciting, but I'm tired. I'm gonna go eat some dinner and I will see you guys next Sunday for another video. Bye guys. Mom, it's flashing, right? Oh, Mom's trying to pick a pear to eat a snack. We have a really big pear tree here at the house, and they're finally ripe. They're so sweet and good. You alright? We're too much of perfectionists, Mama. It looks so good.